everybody. You may be wondering why you're seeing this Angels versus Royals game, because they are not scheduled to meet in the regular season in October. However, as we left the last video, with one game left in the season replay, they were tied. And as luck would have it for both teams, when I simmed the last game, they both lost. So they end up in their actual tie, 92-70 for both teams. So we've got a one-game playoff before we get to the playoffs. So the winner of this game will welcome the Milwaukee Brewers to start a best-of-5 series in the American League Championship Series. It'll either be right here at Royal Stadium, or it'll be just like it was in real life at Anaheim Stadium. Obviously, this is not an as played because this game was never played, so I'm doing the best I can with the lineups that I have, and I'm using the pitchers that would be available because I'm not going to use the starters that had just pitched the last couple of days. So for the Kansas City Royals, they will go with left-hander Paul Splittorff, 10-10 with a 4.28 ERA in the 82 season. And the Angels will counter with right-hander Mike Witt, 8-6 with a 3.51 ERA in 26 starts in the 82 season. So those are your starting pitchers. Let's look at the starting lineups for both teams. Actually filled this in on a replay baseball score sheet, so I'm using that today as my score sheet. So we have, for the Angels, Downing in left, Foley at short, Carew at first, Jackson in right, Baylor as the DH, Lynn in center, DeSensei at third, Gritch at second, and Boone catching. Try to go pretty much with their standard lineup, what their standard lineup would be. And so that's the kind of lineup they've been using, the Angels have, as of late. For the Royals, I did make one switch. They had been batting UL Washington second, but I just don't think he's that good of a hitter, so I dropped him to ninth, and I put Frank White in the number 2 spot. So we have Wilson, White, Brett, McRae, Akins, Otis, Wathan, Martin, and UL Washington. That's the starting lineup for the Royals. Ballpark effects: singles 1-16 for both, home runs 1-11 for a lefty, and only 1-2 for a righty. Got our dice, the blue dice for the Royals, and then the red D20 for the Angels. And I think we're just about ready to go. I did drop the roster size to 25-man roster, so I eliminated some of the marginal guys. They are not on the team. I picked the best 16 batters and best 9 pitchers for each team, so to make it fair, or at least hopefully in an attempt to make it fair. So let's check everything out. Looks like everything is in place as far as being able to see everything. Let's look at Paul Splittorff. He's going to be the starter for the Royals, and he'll be facing Brian Downing of the Angels, the left fielder. So we're ready to go here on Saturday, October the 9th. Impromptu one-game playoff between the Royals and the Angels. And I believe the Angels beat the Royals by 3 games in real life. I think the difference was 3 games, but in the Strat replay, when I simmed the final game, they both lost, so they stay tied. All right, so Paul Splittorff, one and done right here. This is reminiscent of the wild card games of today, so you can kind of look at it that way, I guess. Splittorff to Downing, and the one-game playoff here at, it says Kauffman Stadium, but it's really Royal Stadium back in '82, is underway. We get a 6-5. Splittorff against a right-hander. That's trouble. 1-5 is a homer. 6-20 is a double. So 13 is a leadoff double for Brian Downing. And the Angels coming out with a vengeance early on, trying to see if they can't get history to stay the same and repeat itself and have them play the Brewers in the ALCS. Right now it's Tim Foley. I kept him batting number 2 because they had him batting 2 most of the season. He's an excellent bunter and hit and run guy, but with the runner at second already, we're not going to bunt. We're just going to swing away. No strategy roll needed because Splittorff has no balk rating, no wild pitch rating, and there's no pass ball rating on the catcher, John Wathan. So no strategy roll is going to be needed for Splittorff because he has no opportunity to do anything. So we'll go straight to the roll for Tim Foley. And Downing is not being held on second. Get a 3-10 against a lefty. It's ground ball to second, and so Foley does his job. He moves the runner over. It wasn't a sacrifice, but he moves the runner over, which is all you really need. And that's one away. And that's one of the advantages of super advanced. In advanced, the runner in second would have had to hold, but that's not realistic. So in super advanced, they give you the realism of moving the runner up. So now Downing is at third base with 1 out. Royals are going to play it close to the vest. They are going to play the infield in against Rod Carew. Splittorff 2-8. And that's a single to left field. There's a clutch there, but they're not 2 outs, so the single will stand. Carew an RBI single, and the Angels grab a quick 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. And the Royals, this is the kind of game the bullpens won't take long to get moving. But Splittorff's one of their better pitchers, so they're going to try to stick with him as long as they can. Carew will be held. He won't try to go anywhere. Here's Reggie, Mr. October, right in his wheelhouse for October. Splittorff 1-9. That's a strikeout. So Splittorff gets the K on Reggie for out number 2. And that brings up the designated hitter, Don Baylor. That's a 2-7 for Baylor against a lefty. That's a 1-19 single, so it will be a single 1 star. Carew will only make it to second base. So runners at first and second. 2 down for Freddie Lynn as Splittorff tries to minimize the damage to just 1 run. Splittorff to Lynn, 6-8. Struck him out, so he gets out of the jam, only allowing the 1 run. Could have been a lot worse. As it is, the Angels grab a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the first here in KC in this 1-game playoff for the 1982 American League West Championship and the right to face the Brewers. All right, Mike Witt is going to be the starting pitcher for the Angels. He'll face Willie Wilson, and it's a good idea to keep him off the bases. 6-8, switch hitter batting left. 6-8 is a single to left field. So back come the Royals, and Wilson's definitely going to look for a jump. 3-6, he'll get a jump. That's a 7, so he does not get the jump. So Wilson is not going to try to steal without getting a good jump, so he will stand pat. That brings up Frank White. Decent bunter, but I think they're going to have him swing away. Could hit and run. He'd be a B hit and run. So I think we're going to do a hit and run. So let's roll the hit and run result. And we get it off the pitcher card. So that means when the hit and run comes off the pitcher, or on the Super Advanced hit and run, when you get it off the pitcher's card, you just read the pitcher's card as normal. However, if a strikeout, walk, single, or double result occurs while reading the pitcher's card, disregard that rating and refer to the Super Advanced hitting results. Okay, so we got a 412. 412 is a ground ball pitcher X. That does not fall into one of these categories, so we're going to go with ground ball pitcher X. So, Witt, defensively, is a 3E33. Not too good. 3E33. 3 and a 7. Let's see if he can get to it. A 3 and a 7 is a G3, so runner's going to advance. That is a 11, E33, and there is an 11, so that's actually going to be an error. Actually going to be an error on Mike Witt. So not only will it advance the runner, but it's actually an E1. And that puts runners at first and second for the big boys, as here comes Brett and McRae. So George Brett, the batter. Again, Wilson being held on second. Strategy roll for Witt. Nothing happening. Witt to Brett. 3-7 for Brett, and he's going to walk, and that's going to load the bases. So, boy, talk about Splittorff being in trouble in the first inning. What about Mike Witt? He's definitely in trouble in the first inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. And they're going to play the infield back. They need double plays. They need outs, so they'll give up the run to get the out, or to get 2 outs, rather. And here's Hal McRae, the DH. 5-7, and that's a strikeout, a huge strikeout of Hal McRae. 1 down, and that brings up Aikens. Now a double play gets him out of the inning with no damage done. So Witt to Aikens. 5-8 against a lefty. That's damage right there by Aikens. That's an 8. It's a double 2 stars. So a 2-run double for Willie Mays Aikens, a 2-run double, and the Royals lead it 2-1 here in the first. And not the kind of start that Mike Witt was hoping for after getting a 1-0 lead. He's just given that up. Second and third, only 1 out. Infield's going to come in for Amos Otis. They try to cut off another run. 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. Gets a chance for a balk. Witt's balk rating is a 2. And he does not balk, so Otis will step in with the infield in. 4-7 against a right-hander, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. So the walk to Otis will load the bases, and that brings up the number 7 hitter, John Wathen. And usually you think you can double up a catcher, but he runs very well, although he does have ground ball A's on his card. But he is a good base runner. Nothing on the Havoc. Witt to Wathen, infield again, playing double play depth. 3-6, and that's a ground ball third base A, so they get the double play they needed. 5-4-3 around the horn. And what could have been disaster is limited to a 2-run inning. At the end of 1, it is Kansas City 2 and California 1, as they try to see who's going to play Harvey Wallbanger's Milwaukee Brewers in the ALCS Best of 5. First 2 games will be at the home park of either one of these teams, whoever wins. Last 3 will be in the Brew Crew if necessary. All right, Doug DeSensei will lead off against Splittorf. 6-7, fly ball to center. So 1 away as Amos Otis puts it away. Otis, my man. Here's Bobby Grich. 2-4 against the lefty. Ground ball to second. 2 down. That's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Bob Boone. 5-9 against a righty, struck him out. So much better inning. Much better by Paul Splittorf. Maybe the 2 runs that his team scored for him maybe pumped him up a little bit. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 2-1 Royals. Now Witt has to come out and put a shutdown inning on the Royals, keep his team in the game. Here's Jerry Martin, right fielder. 6-9, and that's a ground ball to short. So that's a good start for Witt, 1 down. And now here's UL Washington. Like I said, he was normally a number 2 hitter, but I dropped into number 9 and put Frank White up there. Just felt like that was the play to make. Witt to Washington. 5-5, struck him out. 2 down, and that's going to take it to the top of the order for Willie Wilson. 3-5 against a right-hander, and that's a single to center. So Willie Wilson again will be looking to get a jump. 3-6. Can't get it, so he will hold again, but he will be held on, obviously. And here's Frank White. 1-9 for White, and he grounds it to short. They'll go to short way. Foley over to Grich for the fielder's choice to end the inning. 2 innings in the books here in KC, and it's the Royals 2 and the Angels 1. Splittorf and Witt both have fatigue numbers of 6 innings, so they can at least go 6 innings, if not more, if they're effective. But of course, it's Joe Bullpen today, pretty much. All hands on deck. Here's Downing. He started the first inning with a leadoff double. 1-8, and he will walk this time. So leadoff walk to Downing. Downing, even though he's a leadoff hitter, is not a run threat at all, so he will not even be held. Foley will be up to bunt. I mean, that's why he's hitting number 2. He's there to bunt. So Foley will be doing the sacrifice bunt. And so he becomes a B bunter. And that's a 4. So a B bunter and a 4 says speed. B bunter and a 4 is speed. And speed says, we take the run rating of Foley, which is an 11. If we roll a D20, it falls 1 to 11. Foley gets down and beats that bunt for a single. Otherwise, it's a good sacrifice. And it's the 4, the white die on the 4 means the first baseman, Rod Carew, would make the play. I'm sorry, Willie Aikens would make the play, but a 1-11, and Foley beats it out. He does. So Foley, such a good bunt, he beat it out. Aikens had no play, and the first 2 are on. Here to start the 3rd inning for the Angels, and now the big boys are looming in the wings. After Carew, you got Jackson and Baylor and Lynn, and DeCincy's no slouch either. All right, again, no strategy roll, infield, or nobody's being held on. Infield double play depth. Carew could bunt, but we're going to let him swing away. 4-9 against the lefty. That's a fly to left, 1 away. Couldn't get it off of Carew's card, or it might have been a good idea to bunt, or to not have him bunt because he's such a good hitter, but it came off the pitcher card, so no chance. Here's Reggie trying to make up for that strikeout his last time up. 1-8, and there's that single to left. They're not 2 outs, so there's no clutch to worry about. It's just a straight single to left field. Now the question is, do you send the runner? Willie Wilson in left field is a -1 arm. Let's see, he was not being held. So Downing a 12, not being held makes him a 13, but the -1 arm brings it back to a 12. Be a 1-12 to score, or you could load the bases. I think they're going to load the bases here. That ball hit on the AstroTurf, got out to Willie Wilson really quickly. And so now the bases are loaded with 1 out for big Don Baylor. And now the infield for the Royals will play for the double play. They think they can turn it with the AstroTurf out there. Baylor. 4-6, and that's a straight out single to center field for Don Baylor. It's at least going to tie the game. Downing will score. Foley, as a trail runner, was not being held, makes him a 12. Center fielder Otis, though, is a -10. I'm sorry, -2, which would make it a 10. So they're going to play station to station with that. Foley will stop at 3rd. Reggie will stop at 2nd. Don Baylor, an RBI single. We are tied at 2. Bases are still loaded with only 1 out for Freddie Lynn. Splittorff in trouble. Pitch to Lynn, infield, still playing for that double play. 6-9, and they get it right here. 3-6-3 double play. They asked for it, and they got it. To end the inning, Angels tie the game, but it could have been worse for Splittorff and the Royals, but they minimized the damage. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Score 2-2. And Mr. George Brett will lead things off against Mike Witt. 6-10 against a lefty. Ground ball to 2nd. And Johnny on the spot is Bobby Grich, 1 away. Brings up D.H. Hal McRae. 5-6. Fly to center. That's 2 down. For Willie Mays Aikens. 5-8. And that's trouble. 1-12 is a double, that's an 8. So it's a double for Willie Mays Aikens, his 2nd double of the game. It might have been on the exact same roll. That kind of looks familiar. I think he got the 5-8 twice. So Aikens will not be held as a slow runner. And Amos Otis is up, but first the havoc roll for Witt. And nothing's happening. Here's Amos Otis, walked his first chance. 1-7, and he's going to pop it to short, but that's a clutch. When there's 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, this clutch becomes a single 2 stars. So a clutch single for Amos Otis will score Aikens, and the Royals reclaim the lead 3-2. And you can argue whether or not you agree with the clutch rulings or ratings or whatever, but it's super advanced, so I'm playing it. All right, so AO, that clutch base hit. He will not try to steal. He will be held, but he won't try to steal. Havoc roll 2 is a chance for a balk or a pass ball. 4 is a pass ball chance, but Boone has no pass ball rating, so we move on to Wathen. Get a 4-5, and that's a ground ball to short. They'll go the short way, 6-4, fielder's choice to end the inning. But the Angels tie the game in the top of the 3rd and give it right back in the bottom of the 3rd just as quickly. We finished 3 innings of play. It's the Royals 3 and the Angels 2. And we could see some bullpen activity for the Angels because they're not going to want to stick with Mike Witt too long. If well, actually both pitchers are struggling, so the bullpens could be coming out early and often. Here is got the Doug DeSensei up the bottom part of the order. 3-6 against the lefty. Ballpark home run chance, and against for a right-hander it's only 1-2 though, so it's no home runs, just a fly to left. And DeSensei will fly out of there. Here's Bobby Grich. 2-8 for Grich, struck him out. So maybe Splittorff is regaining his form here. We'll see. Bob Boone. 4-11. Ground ball to third. Brett is there. Easy inning. Down go the Angels. Still 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Witt back out. But the Angels do have activity in the bullpen. They do have left-hander Andy Hassler loosening just in case Witt struggles further. Here's Jerry Martin. 1-9, and that's a strikeout. That's a good start for Witt. One down for UL Washington and his toothpick. 2-9, and ground ball to short. So Witt, with the eye to the bullpen, knew he was in trouble, starting to bear down a little bit better. But he's got to deal with Willie Wilson. He's 2 for 2. 5-4, that's a catcher X. But fortunately for him, he's got a good catcher in Bob Boone, who was a 1E3. 1-13 for a catcher. 1-13 for a catcher is a foul out. And that's a 6, and he is an E3. There is no 6, so it's just a foul out to Boone. And that's going to end the inning. So much better outing for Mike Witt in the fourth inning. Like I said, maybe he's looking over his shoulder and knows he's in trouble. Knows he's on a short leash. We go to the top of the fifth, still 3-2, favor of the Royals. Top of the order, Brian Downing will lead it off. 3-2, and against a left-hander, that's a split chance. With this triangle, 1-19 is going to be a single. So Downing has reached base all 3 times as the leadoff hitter, which is what you're supposed to do as a leadoff hitter. You reach base. So he's on. And again, Foley up to bunt. Last time he beat it out for a single. So let's see what he can do this time. Here's a B bunter, and that's a 3. So a B bunter and a 3 is a good sacrifice. The white die is a 2, which means it went back to the pitcher Splittorff. So it's going to go 1-4 with Frank White covering first base. But Foley did his job, which is why he's in that number 2 hole. And now tying run is in scoring position for Rod Carew. And Downing not being held at second base. 4-4, ground ball third base X. That is George Brett. He's a 2E21. 2-6 should be okay. Let's take a look. 2-6 is a G2. And the runner at second, that probably means he's got a hold. That's a 12, and he's an E21. There's an 11, but no 12, so it's good play. And a G2 with a runner on second. So if it's it to the right side, he can advance, but that's obviously not to the right side, so he has to hold. Brett checks the runner, throws to first for out number 2, and now it's up to Reggie. Try to tie the game with one swing of the bat. 5-8, doesn't get it done. He grounds to second. Frank White is there. Inning's over. So Splittorff, after a rough start, is started to settle in. Go to the bottom of the fifth, still 3-2. Witt back out, facing Frank White. 5-6, and that's a fly to center, one away. So Witt has kind of settled in a little bit also. We'll see if that continues. Here's George Brett. 6-4, ground ball shortstop X. That is Tim Foley. Foley's a 3E12. 3-19 is good. 12-12 should be okay. Let's check it out. A 12 and a, yep, you got to have a 15, 3 or 18 to make an error, so that's a good play for Tim Foley. 2 down. For the DH, Hal McRae is 0 for 2. 1-4. That's a ballpark single check, and that will be a base hit for Hal McRae. So first time that ballpark single check has come up, and it worked out for the Royals. McRae, decent runner, but they're not going to hold him on. He's not going to go anywhere. Havoc roll, nothing happening. Here's Willie Aikens. He's doubled twice. Yeah, I believe he's found that 5-8 roll twice. Let's see what he does this time. This time 4-10. That's a fly ball to left field, and that's going to end the inning. So nicely done by Witt. He has rebounded quite a bit to keep himself in the game and keep the Angels in the game. It's 3-2 as we go to the 6th. And this is the fatigue inning for both pitchers. So bullpens are going to have to be on the lookout. And since we're at around that time of the game, let's look at the bullpen guys that are available for both teams. For the Royals, they have 3 lefties in the pen that are available. Actually, 2 lefties, I'm sorry. 2 lefties. They have Don Hood and Bud Black. And then they have 4 right-handers, Dave Frost, Bill Castro, Mike Armstrong, and Dan Quisenberry. That is their bullpen. We'll look at the Angels bullpen, see who they have available. They have Andy Hassler, Steve Rinko from the right side, Dave Galtz from the right side, Doug Corbett from the right side, Luis Sanchez from the right side, and Angel Moreno from the left side. So those are the bullpen arms available for California. So we'll see how it plays out. Right now, Splittorff is on the clock as he's in his fatigue inning, trying to avoid running into that problem. And he'll face Don Baylor to lead things off. Baylor 2 for 2. 6-6, and he's going to be 3 for 3. That's going to be a double. 1-8's a double. That's a 7. So Don Baylor, leadoff double, and the tying runs in scoring position right away. Here's Freddie Lynn. Baylor will have to be held. He runs well, so they'll hold him at second. Splittorff to Lynn, 5-7. Ground ball second base X, but the guy holding the runner is the shortstop with the lefty up there, so it's not going to affect second baseman Frank White. He remains a 1E20. So 1 and a 5 should be okay. 1 and a 5 is a G1, and that is a 14 as an E20. There's a 13, but no 14. So it's just a 4-3 ground out with the runner moving up. So Lynn does move the runner to third base. He moves Baylor to third base. So now the infield for the Royals is going to come in. They don't give up a cheap run. And here is Doug DeCense. 6-4, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-16. That's going to be a base hit, and we got a tie game. So Doug DeCense singles off of Splittorff to tie the game at 3 here in the top of the 6th. And now the bullpen definitely getting in full force action for the Royals, as they do have left-hander loosening out there as well as a right-hander. They have Don Hood, and they also have right-hander Mike Armstrong. They're both loosening in the bullpen. Right now, DeCense will be held, but he won't go anywhere. And here's Bobby Grich. Splittorff to Grich, 1-7. That's a ground ball second base C. So that'll advance the runner to second base. So DeCense, the go-ahead run, is in scoring position with 2 outs for Bob Boone. Now, do you let Splittorff face Boone or not? That's the question. Tough choice. Or do you bring in Armstrong? They're going to let Splittorff pitch to him. See if he can get through the 6th inning. 1-7, and it works. Ground ball to short. That ends the inning. So they stuck with Splittorff long enough to keep him from giving up anything more than what he already did. He gave up the 1 run, and now the game is tied at 3. Still a quality start, so to speak, as they say. 6 innings and 3 runs. Kind of a useless stat in my opinion, but that's just me. But we go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 3. This is Witt's fatigue inning. That's going to be it for Splittorf. His day is done. So they will cap Splittorf at 6 innings. And he's going to give up the 3 runs. All right, here is AO, Amos Otis. Now let's go ahead and do the numbers on Splittorf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got him for 9 hits. 3 runs, walks and strikeouts. Let's see, and replay has this backwards. I don't know why they do it this way. You should have walks first and strikeouts second, but they have them backwards, but that's kind of irrelevant. 1 walk I see, and that's to Downing. I think that's his only walk. So just the 1 walk. Not too many strikeouts either. 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 strikeouts. So that's the final on Splittorf. And now we'll see what Witt can do. See if he can hold the fort now that his team has tied the game. Here's AO, Amos Otis. 2-5 for Otis, and he flies to left, 1 away. Brings up the catcher, John Wathen. 3-7 for Wathen. That's a fly to center, 2 down. For Jerry Martin, the right fielder. 5-8. That's a single to left field, so 2-out single for Jerry Martin. He will not be held. And here is UL Washington. Havoc roll, nothing happening. Here's UL Washington against Witt. 6-3, switch hitter batting left. 6-3 is a fly ball left field X. That's Downing. Downing's a 3-0, so we know he can't make an error. The question is, can he get to it? 3-3, I don't think he will. 3-3 is a double 2 stars, so it won't score the run, but it will put runners at second and third. As UL Washington put one out of the reach of Brian Downing. Now that brings up Wilson. And Witt has had all sorts of trouble with Wilson. They may want to turn him around and bat him left-handed. So that's going to be all for Mike Witt. He's going to leave the ball game. And they are going to Andy Hassler out of the pen. They want to turn Wilson around and make him bat right-handed. Hassler on the season, 2-1 with a 2.78 ERA and 4 saves. So Andy Hassler is on, and that will flip Willie Wilson around to bat right-handed, which may, or on his card at least, looks like his weaker side. So Andy Hassler. Can't close the book on Witt because we don't know what he's going to do, but we do know he went 5 2/3. But don't know anything else. I guess I can do his hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got him for 8 hits. We know one of the runs was unearned because of this error. So looks like 3 runs, 2 earned for now, depending on if Hassler gets out of this mess. Hassler for the Havoc. Nothing happening. So Hassler to Willie Wilson. 3-8 for Wilson. Struck him out. And that's going to end the inning. So Hassler does his job. Keeps the Royals off the scoreboard. At the end of 6, we are tied at 3 here in the 1-game playoff in the American League West. To see who is the victor in the American League West. Hassler will stay in the game to pitch further. And now we need a new pitcher for Splittorf for the Royals. And let's see, we got Downing, Foley. We got a bunch of right-handers coming up. They're followed by 2 lefties, so it can kind of go either way, whether you want a righty or lefty. But I think they're going to go with the guy that was warming up, Mike Armstrong. He is coming in. He is 5-5 with a 3.20 ERA and 6 saves. So he will be on. He will be on to pitch. Start the 7th inning. Splittorf earns a no decision, as does Witt. Now we can finish the book on Witt. He had 3 runs, 2 earned because of the error. And let's see, walks and strikeouts. He walked 1, 2. Looks like 2 walks. Strikeouts 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that 4th one went to Hassler, so he had 3 strikeouts. All right, so we are now set to go here for the top of the 7th, tied at 3. And it is Mr. Downing to lead things off, and he's reached base all 3 times, but that was against the lefty Splittorff. What will he do against the righty Armstrong? 3-11. Ground ball to first. 1 away. Put away but by Willie Mays Aikens. 1 down. Here's Foley. Now there's nobody to bunt for now. He's got to swing away on his own. See what he can do. 4-9. Ground ball shortstop X. Hit one to his counterpart UL Washington. Washington's a 2E32. 2-1. That's going to get through for a base hit. So Tim Foley gets the base hit. There's an 11, and he's an E32. And there is no 11, but it is a base hit for Foley. So a 1-out single for Tim Foley. Not a very good runner. They will not hold him on. Rod Carew, the batter, stepping to the plate. Havoc roll, nothing happening. So here is Carew. 3-4 for Carew, and that's a fly to left field. 2 down. Big out there to get. Now here's Reggie. Chance to do some damage against the righty. 5-2, and that's a fly ball to right. Put away by Martin, and the inning is over. So Armstrong pitches a scoreless 7th, and he certainly has the fatigue to go further. So we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Royal Stadium. Score tied at 3. And I will take a quick stretch as well to check the camera and just kind of stand up and move around a bit and not get so stiff. And it's also a good opportunity to go through the bench players available for both teams. Did the bullpens already. Let's look at the bench players. Because like I said, I did limit them to 25-man roster, so some of the lower level guys didn't make it on the roster. Righties, Lee May, Onyx Concepcion, Don Slott, and Greg Pryor. Those are 4 right-handed pinch hitter possibilities. 3 lefties, Jamie Quirk, Steve Hammond, and Cesar Geronimo. So it's a 7-man bench with the 9 starting. That's a 16-player bench, or 16 position players and 9 pitchers. Now for the Angels, they will have right-handers Juan Beniquez, Ron Jackson, Bobby Clark, and Joe Ferguson. And they will also have, I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? Did I not pull somebody out? Rob Wilfong is the lefty. I think that's all they're going to. I think they're going to do 15 and 10 or 14 and 11 because they just don't have as many position players to go to. At least not the ones I've got carded. So unless I'm missing somebody, I don't see anybody else out there. So that's what we're going with. That's who both teams have. It's still plenty for one game. It's definitely plenty of players to choose from. So now we'll start the bottom of the 7th, tied at 3. Andy Hassler got the last out of the 6th, and now he's back out to face White, Brett, and McRae, heart of the order. That's a Sua dice. We'll re-roll that. 4-8 against a right-hander. That's a leadoff walk. Not a good thing to do to start issuing leadoff walks. Frank White, not a threat to steal necessarily. He will be held though. I mean, he's not going to go, but he's definitely going to be held. And George Brett, the batter, he could hit and run with a B, but he's such a good hitter. I just want him to swing away without any impediment. So we'll just keep driving on as usual. So Brett, lefty against Hassler. 5-12, and that's a ground ball first base X. And with the runner being held on, that could come into play. First baseman is Carew. He's a 3E15. That's a 5. That is a 5. So let's see here. A 5, and he is a 3. So here's the problem. He's a 3 and a 5. It says G3 with a pound sign. So it says if the infielder is responsible for holding the runner. See the super advanced holding running chart. And with a left-handed batter and a runner at first, runner being held, runner on first, left-handed batter, first baseman and shortstop. So in this case, Carew was the one responsible. So that ball is going to sneak by him for a single, 2 stars. As Brett snuck it past him on the AstroTurf, Carew not able to get to it. Runners are on the corners with nobody out for the Royals here in the bottom of the 7th. And now bullpen activity for the Angels as a right-hander is loosening, as they're coming up on some right-handed hitting. And looks like right-hander Luis Sanchez is loosening in the bullpen for the Angels. Right now, Hassler has to face McRae. And what do you do here in the 7th? You hate to give up any runs at all, but if you play in and they get a base hit, this could lead to multiple runs. So do you trust your offense to score two runs? Then again, the Royals do have Quisenberry, so he could shut you down. So tough call, but they're going to play the infield in against Hal McRae. And first of all, we have the Havoc. Nothing happening. So Hassler to McRae. That's a 5-5. 1 to 14 is a single. That's a 2, so it's going to get by him for a single regardless of the infield positioning. And the Royals take a 4-3 lead. And I believe that's getting close to being all for Hassler. He'll stay in to face Akins. That'll be his last batter. But he has given up the lead. Brett is the new runner at second base, and he will be held. Hassler. Nothing happened. Here's Akins, lefty on lefty. 3-10, and that's a ground ball third base A. It's a 5-4-3 double play around the horn for 2 quick outs. Brett does take third base, but now there are 2 away for Amos Otis, and that's going to be it for Hassler. He is going to leave, and with the righty Amos Otis coming up, they will turn to righty of their own, Luis Sanchez. 7-4, 3.21 ERA and 5 saves. So definitely in the Royals' mind, this is a save situation because they don't want any more runs going across the plate. Hassler ends up going a full inning in total, giving up 2 hits, walking 1, striking out 1. But we don't know about the runs. We know 1 is in, but we don't know about any more. So far, it's just 1. And then Sanchez is on, the right-hander, against AO with Brett at third, 2 away. Havoc roll. That's a 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball, and you hate to have a run come in that way. But it's a pass ball chance, and Bob Boone has none. So that takes that fear out of there. So here's Sanchez to AO. 4-6. That's a walk, so it keeps the inning going with a 2-out walk to AO. And AO will be held to put runners at the corners. 2 down for John Wathen. Havoc rolled, nothing happening. Sanchez to Wathen. 6-7, that's a ground ball. Second base X. Second baseman is the guy holding, so second baseman Gritch could be affected by this. Roll and see what happens. That's a 2. That's going to get through for a base hit. Gritch was a 2, but with him being holding the runner, it's still an SI 1, single 1 star. So Brett scores. That run is charged to Hassler and close the book on Hassler now. And Otis will take second base. RBI single for Wathen. Royals lead it 5-3. And now it's getting ever closer to Dan Quisenberry time. And the Angels look like they're in trouble. Here's Jerry Martin. So Sanchez, one of their better relievers, is not working out for him right now. Here's Martin. 3-7, and that is a ground ball to short to end the inning. But 2 runs come in. The Royals now have a 5-3 lead in front of the home folks. with 2 innings to play. Armstrong pitched a very good 7th inning, so they're going to start him out here in the top of the 8th. But Dan Quisenberry is loosening along with lefty Don Hood. So they got double barrel action in the Royal bullpen. Baylor will lead things off. He is 3 for 3. Those are all against the lefty Splittorf, though. Let's see what he does against the righty. 211, and that's a ballpark home run chance, but that's an 18. You have to have a 2 or less. So just a deep fly to left. That's all they get. 1 down, and here's Freddie Lynn. 210 for Lynn. He grounds it back to Armstrong. 2 down. So Armstrong has pitched very well in relief. Here's Doug DeSensei. 1-7, and he grounds it back to Armstrong again. That's going to end the inning, and that'll be it for Armstrong. He will go 2 innings, and he's the pitcher record now. He could get the win. He goes 2 innings, 1 hit, and nothing else. And it's going to be quiz time in the 9th. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, 5-3, and now what do the Angels do as far as trying to prevent more runs? Who do they go to now out of the bullpen? Because Sanchez didn't necessarily impress all that much. They will go to who do you go to here? They're going to go to Doug Corbett. Wasn't very good, but he was their closer a lot of the season because he had 11 saves. It was 1-9 with a 5.13 ERA. But he is traditionally a closer and a decent reliever. They're going to bring him in to see if they can hold the fort. Sanchez will go, let's see, he will go 1/3 of an inning. And he's going to give up a hit and a walk. And that's it. Now, Doug Corbett facing UL Washington to start the bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Royals. 6-6 against Corbett. That's a strikeout. 1 away, and that brings up Willie Wilson. 1-5 against a right-hander. That's a straight-out triple. How do you like that? A straight-out triple for Willie Wilson. Straight-out triple, and now the infield's going to have to come in. They have no choice. For Frank White's at bat. Havoc roll, nothing happening. Infield is in. Corbett, 2-9. Trouble again. 1-9 is a home run, is a triple rather, and that's a 6. So Frank White put up in that number 2 position, and he comes through with an RBI triple to give an insurance run to the Royals. They now lead it 6-3. And the infield's still going to have to be in for George Brett. Corbett not getting it done there either. Nothing there. Corbett to Brett. 4-10 against the lefty. That's a ground ball, third base X. Third baseman is DeSensei. He's a 1, E23. 1 and a 9. 1 and a 9. 1 and a 9 is a G1. And that's a 6. And he is an E23. There is no 6. So on a G1, with a runner at third, infield in, batters out, runners holds. So good play there by DeSensei for out number 2. And that brings up Hal McRae. Corbett to McRae. Nothing doing there. Infield back to normal with 2 outs. 5-8, and it's ground ball, second base X. That is Bobby Grich. He is a 2, E13. 2 and a 20 is good. E13 and a 9. Make sure that's a good play. It is, so it's good play by Grich. Ends the inning, but the Royals get an extra bonus run to give Quisenberry a 3-run cushion. As it's 6-3 as we go to the 9th. And it is definitely quiz time. So the Angels don't have to worry about trying to pass the test. They got to worry about passing the quiz. And Quisenberry on the 82 season, 9-7, 2.57 ERA, and 35 saves. So Dan Quisenberry looking to send the Royals to the ALCS and reversing history. And all the Angels had to do was beat Texas the last game of the season, and they would have been the champions, and they didn't do it. So they really have nobody to blame but themselves. Now, with the bottom portion of the order coming up, they do have guys on the bench, so they could go to the bench for some better offense. Juan Benitez is a possibility. Ron Jackson's a possibility. Rich will hit for himself, but they're going to take out Bob Boone and bring in Ron Jackson to hit. So Ron Jackson is the pinch hitter for Boone. And if it goes extra innings or bottom of the inning, Joe Ferguson is the backup catcher. But right now it is going to be Grich, and then it's going to be Ron Jackson. No relation to Reggie, but he will pinch hit against Quisenberry. First it's Grich facing Quisenberry. 6-8, and that's a ground ball to third. Brett's there, one away. Royals 2 outs away from the ALCS, and the fans on their feet here at Royal Stadium, looking to dethrone the dreaded Angels. Here's Jackson. 4-5, 1-5 is an in-home run chance. That's a 6. So Ron Jackson would have had normal power, but instead he missed it by 1 number. It's just a deep fly to left. Out number 2. And it's all down now to Brian Downing to keep it going. Quisenberry to Downing. 5-5. That's a single to center field, so the game keeps going. What did you think to be a 1-2-3 ninth inning in the NBC 1982 Strat-O-Matic Game of the Week? Not going to happen. And now Tim Foley will be called back, and he will get pinch hit for. And they'll go to another pinch hitter. This one will be Juan Benitez. Juan Benitez hit .265 on the season. So Benitez will pinch hit for Foley, as they need offense. They'll worry about defense later, but they need the offense. Obviously, Downing at first will not be held. Do have to roll a havoc roll because Quisenberry does have a wild pitch chance. But that didn't come up, so here's Benitez, last chance, trying to keep it going for the Angels. 4-6, 1's a triple, anything else is a single. It's a single, 2 stars for Benitez. And all of a sudden, the tying run now is at the plate in Rod Carew. Again, no holding the runners. So Carew trying to keep it going, move the train along. Reggie is on deck. Here's Quisenberry. 3-7, and that is a fly to center to end the ball game. And the Kansas City Royals will be hosting the ALCS against the Milwaukee Brewers, courtesy of a 6-3 victory over the Angels here in game 163 of the season. And the Royals now are mobbing Dan Quisenberry as they all come out and celebrate their victory. But there is a team up in the north central United States which says, not so fast, my friends, I'm coming your way. So the Milwaukee Brewers will be coming to Kansas City for the first 2 games of the ALCS. And of course, in the National League, it had been determined for a long time, but it will be the Expos and the Dodgers from the National League side. So, hope you enjoyed that presentation of the NBC Strat-O-Matic Game of the Week bonus edition with the playoff. And now that we've made the playoffs, of course, now it's kind of turning into a 1982 replay, so I'm not limited to just Saturdays. I'm going to try to play maybe a couple games a week on this to speed this along with my Nationals replay. So I'll play as much as I can and record as much as I can. But as of right now, we can remove the Angels. It is all Royals all the time, as they are the American League West champions for 1982 in the replay, as they best the California Angels by the score of 6-3. Winning pitcher was Mike Armstrong. The save to Dan Quisenberry, and the losing pitcher is going to be Andy Hassler. So that's it from here, from Royal Stadium. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.